Okay, YouTube, we're going to do another video today. This time we're looking less at AI technology specifically and, sort of what goes on in that world and a closer look at what's stopping Canadians from being more productive. So this is something that I personally noticed growing up, going from company to company, sales role to sales role. I had a lot of jobs in the past, got fired a whole bunch of times, probably because I'm really hard headed. But the idea that I'm trying to get at with this piece is that Canadians have become so busy with mundane day to day work that it's quite literally slowing us down in terms of innovation, productivity. We don't have time to become unbusy with all of the menial tasks we have to do, and that's essentially created what's called a busy trap for Canadian professionals, and that's just because we haven't broken loose from some of the more primitive ways of thinking about doing business, a lack of technology adoption. All of these things accumulate and culminate into professionals who are just stuck under a whole bunch of work. Like every single time we reach out to any business in Canada, everyone is extremely busy, yet Canadians are some of the least productive people in developed nations. So for me, that's just a signal that we're not doing things smarter. We're literally just working harder for less. And so I sort of want to share, some of the research. We got some sources here for what productivity looks like, but more importantly, why AI is so important to Canadians, probably most important to us to break free of this busy trap. So, Canadian professionals too busy to grow or innovate. Is AI the only way out? I believe technology adoption does improve efficiency, and AI being arguably the most efficient technology to be conceived and used is definitely going to be a gateway or an off ramp for this busy trap for Canadians. I'm using a couple examples here, like HVAC and healthcare providers, just because those are cornerstone businesses for Canada. We have a giga healthcare industry, and of course, our real estate industry is one of the biggest and most ballooned in the world, and that provides a lot of periphery businesses with an economy like HVAC. But these professionals in these environments have become so busy with administrative work that it's quite literally hampering our ability to grow and innovate because we're stuck doing the same old things in the same old way. We're not able to break our view away from that and do something new. Like I have to literally tell that to the people that we get onto demos. We get a lot of Americans in demos. Americans are technology. We want to go right now. How can we do things faster? How can we make more money right now? I love that mentality because that is what spurs on the economy and that's what precipitates growth. In Canada, it's more of I don't have time for this. I don't want to look at this. I'm going to go do something that we did in the 90s for 2 more hours and not get anywhere. So for me, it's really important that Canadians really understand like, hey, we're not working in an efficient way in a lot of different areas of operation to the point where it's affecting us on a global stage. Like our GDP is, careening off of a cliff because we don't have the systems in place to keep pace with what's happening globally. So I'll just go through the article a little bit. Every morning, Canadian professionals from HVAC owners and clinic managers to tech teams, tech leads face a similar problem. Inbox overload. If you're a business owner, you're watching this on YouTube, you're getting about 100, 200 emails a day. I get probably not 200 emails a day, but I probably get anywhere between 50 to 100. And most of them are ignored. Like I literally don't look at them. And I can only imagine how many business owners are completely just banner blind to their email inboxes, not paying attention because they're too busy. And then opportunities for growth are like literally nested in their in their inbox. So for me, I ignore my inbox because usually it's people who are trying to show me something that might not be so efficient. Like I'm using 4 or 5 AI terminals at a time. I'm trying to be as efficient as possible. But you'll get the odd vendor or supplier in my inbox saying, we can make your systems more efficient. We can drive more business, and I'll entertain those calls 100%. So back-to-back meetings, little to no gap for focused strategic work. I hate meetings. I really do not like meetings. They waste time. The more people in the meeting, likely that meeting is becoming increasingly inefficient. A meeting should only have 2, 3 people max. If you have one person speaking to multiple people, that's no longer a meeting. It's more like a class or instruction or a tutorial. So for me, all these busy work meetings where people are coming together to talk about what they did in the last hour, what they have to do 2 hours from now, it's a complete waste of time. And a lot of businesses are recognized. I think Elon Musk, Tesla, he recognized that meetings were just hampering growth within his organization. So I think they have some strict rules for meetings. But I've been in so many meetings where quite literally nothing gets done, but 4 or 5 people just wasted 1 or 2 hours. So we got to really break free of what we're doing when we're spending time at work. And I know a lot of people, don't like to work. Now you hear, we have to do better at work, but in reality, we really do in this country, because it's hurting our economy and our long term sustainability for jobs, for businesses. So another thing that I notice is the endless number of administrative tasks that high level professionals think that they need to spend time on. Invoicing, scheduling, data entry. Most of this stuff for our team is done by AI, and we do it en masse. And I'm pretty positive it's the accumulation of multiple people on our team using AI as much as possible that allows us to be profitable, that allows us to build things at warp speed. And I think that the more people adopt AI and the more that they see how fast their operations go, the more aware of how busy and how inefficient what we do really is. And I think that's really going to help. So just open up ChatGPT, try to get it into your workday for whatever, and you're going to really see some or really notice some differences right away. So the busy trap is, the busier you are, the harder it is to explore time-saving tools like AI voice receptionist, automation platforms, cloud workflows. You keep telling yourself, I'll get to it later, but that later never comes. And then, our peers in the United States and beyond, they're leaping ahead by working a lot smarter and not harder. And you can see here, this is a graph from BMO showing real productivity for Canada and the US. We had a super spike in productivity just in and around COVID. So our response in the world of healthcare, really, really good, I guess, if you want to talk about in productivity terms. I don't know what that did for the fall on for the economy, probably not the best. But during that moment where COVID came in, we were working really hard. From that peak in productivity, we've literally just been careening downward while the US is, during COVID had that little bump, but is slowly trending upwards because they're adopting AI. And it's just really interesting to see that Canadians, we're generally smart and good people, but when we're faced with the hard choices of like, hey, we got to cut this loose to make this go faster, or hey, we got to change to make this work better, we don't do it. We like to stay business as usual, and that is causing us to face a significant economic decline in the country, because the world's not going to stay the same. We have to change, we have to evolve. And if that doesn't happen, you're going to see this productivity graph continue to trend downwards while the rest of the world trends up with new technology. So the good news is, if you're finding time to even look at this video, be it a short or, this video is going to be 10, 20 minutes. If you have time for that, to watch this, you probably have time to start breaking free from some of the patterns that are keeping you locked into the busy trap. So the good news is you can dig into Canada's productivity paradox, see why working more hours hasn't led to better output. It's literally just draining the willpower of Canadians by working longer hours. We're going to reveal how admin overload stifles innovation and show you actionable AI strategies to reclaim hours in the week. Like I've probably saved since the 3 years. I think it's coming on 3 years that we've been using AI. I feel like I've done 100x productivity, but I know how many hours I've saved because even building an article like this, back in the day, would have taken me, days of research, you know, writing it, trying to figure out how to get all of these custom made pictures. The article would have taken a week to put together. I just put this together in probably 20, 30 minutes, everything included, metadata, SEO, everything. And now I'm putting up a YouTube video 20 minutes later. So in 1 hour's time, I've saved maybe a week's worth of hobbling through to try and get it done. That level of productivity is allowing me to put out more and more helpful content on a regular basis, get picked up on YouTube. YouTube people get to see it. They reach out to our team and say, hey, you guys look like you do well with AI. Can you help us? So for me, that productivity cycle and that model of workflow, it really is quite profitable because we're saving a lot of time and creating a lot of value and getting paid for it. So Canada's productivity paradox: working harder, not smarter with AI. Despite logging many long hours, many Canadian professionals aren't seeing the payoff in output or growth. Here's how the numbers stack up. So the output gap between Canada and the US is growing. They're quite literally putting together more productivity, more output per person than we are on a regular basis. Canada's workers produce on average 20,000 less GDP per person each year than their US counterparts, translating into lower revenues and incomes for the exact same effort. So I do feel like Canadians work hard, but we work really hard, but we just don't work smart. And in the States, they recognize, hard work is great, but working smarter is a lot more valuable. And so they're actually making more money per person when it comes to the economy. Longer hours and lower returns. Nearly 30% of small business owners and managers report working over 50 hours per week, but putting in extra time hasn't moved the productivity needle. This is true. Like a lot of our Canadian clients, they tell us, oh, we're so busy. I don't have time for this. I don't have time for that. You're just not working efficiently. That's the bottom line. Canadians do not work efficiently, and the data is showing us that. So it has to do with technology adoption. Like we haven't done any meaningful technology investments in the last, since I've been alive in Canada, I haven't seen anything meaningful. And then in the States, they're all about tech. Everything's tech. And that's led to an explosion in investment in the space. And now they're putting trillions of dollars into AI because they know that continuation of investment is going to lead to a bigger economy and generally a better circumstances for business in the country. Again, I mentioned lagging tech investment. Canada invests just 2.5% of GDP in information and communication technology compared to 3.7% in the US. That means fewer tools to automate tasks and accelerate work. That's almost like 50% more in the US on average. Only around 22% of Canadians' businesses have embraced AI. And that's just, a business owner using ChatGPT. That doesn't even include workflow integration. That might even be in single-digit percentages for Canadian businesses, just based on our experiences as an agency trying to get you guys over the line. It's way easier to get American teams over the line. They're like, hell, you can have a robot answer the phone 24/7 and our people can get to work. We want that. For Canadians, it's like pulling teeth. They're scared of something talking on the phone that sounds like a human, and they'll put their head in the sand and try and hire someone for multiples of the cost to do a less effective job. So I cannot tell you guys enough how many times I've seen that. I've seen Canadians want to spend more on less effective means to do business rather than just do a cost-effective solution that's going to do more. I've seen it so many times, and I'm really waiting for that wake-up moment where it's like, hey guys, we really need to do something different in this country. It's not just speculation now. The data is quite literally showing us we're not doing things properly, so we got to think a little bit smarter. What else do we hear? Let me see. Yeah, the U.S. firms are deploying AI from everything from scheduling to customer follow-ups. Why it matters: working harder on manual processes keeps you trapped in busy work. By contrast, adopting AI powered solutions like voice receptionists to handle calls or automation platforms to process invoices lets you reallocate those extra hours towards innovation, strategy, and growth. And so you're going to hear this again and again and again. Doing manual, mundane jobs that machines can do doesn't mean you're better than the machines. It just means you want to work harder, because we are now at a point where these artificial intelligence can do this with a high level of accuracy. It's been 3 years now. The technology has grown parabolically. So I really do hope that if you're seeing this and you're a Canadian, this is my hand out to you saying, hey, like, you can do things in a better way. Reach out to our team, book a discovery call, go through a lot of our guides on the website. You will find a better way to do things. Stuck in busy work: why admin tasks crowd out innovation with AI. Administrative tasks can swallow up a third of the work week, leaving little room for high impact projects. Consider these realities: 36% of your time is likely spent on repetitive busy work, invoicing, expense tracking, calendar management. Calendar management's the biggest one. Like, whenever we have to book someone onto a calendar, like, we're using either Sasha's doing it automatically, or we have CRM to do it, reminders, follow-ups, all that stuff. The amount of times I've called and spoke to a Canadian where it's like, oh, my calendar's full, I don't know when I'm going to have time, can't get it open, my computer's slow, or it's just like, it's just a self-defeating prophecy, or is that the right word? Yeah, self-fulfilling prophecy of defeat, where Canadians are just making themselves so busy to the point where they just can't do anything else but these things that do not lead to growth. Like, we're stuck in the quicksand trying to swim out of it, but we're just sinking further and further. Just honing in on two different sectors, healthcare and HVAC. Ontario reports spending over 18 million hours a year on paperwork alone, while 75% saying it hinders patient care. I think there was a recent article that came out. It was actually one of the sources that AI used to put this article together, where it said doctors are now looking for more compensation for doing administrative work. And to me, this was a red alert, DEFCON 5 article for Canadian productivity, because I'm just looking at this going, why are doctors asking for more money to do admin work? Why aren't doctors asking for money for artificial intelligence to do their work? And so we're really at a point now where even the sentiment and mentality of the doctors in this country is, I want more money to do paperwork. That to me is a serious warning sign that we are not doing things properly. And that was that part of that. I saw that article. I think one of our team members, Service Guardian, shared it with me. And I had to put something together on the Canadian Busy Trap, because it's just a shame to see doctors asking for more money to do paperwork. They should be asking for more money to care for patients. That should be what they are asking for, and we should be giving it to them for that. And we should be implementing AI systems to make their jobs easier. That's the bottom line. They're doing it in the States en masse and by the trillions. So for me to see that article in a Canadian news outlet, I was like, oh my gosh, we are really head in the sand. We have no idea what's going on here. HVAC business owners, you guys are probably some of the hardest working people with the technicians in the field. Like, there's thousands of HVAC teams in Canada just because of how mega our real estate industry is. And everything, like, I've seen service technicians trying to put together quotes or find or book their own site visits on their calendars, try and call people back on quotes. Like, you guys are service techs. Leave that stuff to machines to do. You don't need to have your service tech act as a business development rep, customer service rep. They should be working strictly on jobs that they're highly skilled in, not trying to sell services. That should be done by either sales teams powered by AI for outreach or for follow up, or just have AI do everything. So for me, it's it hits close to home, because some of these businesses, they just don't even know this type of technology exists. And I make these videos to try and get the word out. But a few ways that AI can help is, like, number one, you guys got to get tools to help you do scheduling, dispatch, appointment booking, appointment setting, whatever you want to call it. AI can do this extremely well, and we can integrate voice agents and receptionists into systems that make everything automated, so you don't have to worry about it. You're completely hands off. You just look at a calendar being filled with either service requests or new appointments for new clients or new patients. Managing all that stuff takes up hours. Machines can do it in minutes. So we really have to, you can tell, like, I'm passionate about this part. Let machines do work while you take care of people. That's the bottom line. And I really believe that once more Canadians adopt this mindset, it's going to do wonders for our country. Voice AI receptionist, that ties into the scheduling. These receptionists can do everything from call routing, qualifying leads for sales calls, logging details into CRM, booking onto calendars, sending quotes. We have manufacturing agents that when a customer or client's calling them and asking for quotes and numbers, the agent will give them the numbers and quotes on the phone and then email them the quote in an email right after the call. It's an instantaneous quote building agent that then sends an email to the manager saying, hey, we just quoted this person. They're in the CRM now. That's all automated. No one was there. So we're building those business connections and engagements with machines where the actual business owners and the people who are doing the manufacturing, they can stick to what they should be doing, which is managing the business and producing, and that leads to productivity. And obviously, document processing, huge issue in this country. Like, we have some poor clients are still managing things on paper, and it's just like, oh my gosh, guys, you're living in the 1980s. We have computers, we have the internet, we have artificial intelligence. We need to start using these things so we can keep pace with the growth of the rest of the world, and we can become economically viable on the global stage, and we're not just sitting in our own bubble deteriorating when it comes to productivity. So extracting invoice data, generating reports, routing documents to the right teams, reducing manual entry by 80%. I would even go as far as like content creation. It's not really here because we're focusing more on operations, but my main goal every week is to feed the content engine. Every week you have to feed the content engine because it increases visibility. That visibility leads to your ideal customer profile being aware of you. And once they've established that you have some level of competence in the area that they need, they will reach out to you. That there's no question. If you have enough impressions and enough people see you, I'm all about skill multiplied by volume equals output. So if you're a high skilled individual, all you need to do is create more volume. This is coming from a sales background. Like, I've been doing sales for 20 years, and it's strictly all about volume. You can be a terrible salesperson, but if you talk to 200 people a day, you're going to get sales. If you were a really good salesperson and you knew exactly what to say all the time, you make 3 to 5 calls, you're not getting anything done. So if we were to combine, say a mediocre salesperson with the ability to scale through AI, that person's going to do amazing because they just have more touch points with more opportunities. So by offloading these tasks to AI, you free up vital time for strategy sessions, team coaching, or even well-deserved break. Like, I can tell you right now, I'm doing a little video while on vacation here, but I can take a step back from the content creation, the bookings, all this stuff, and take a moment to think about how I can become more efficient, because the degree to which I need to work hard is not so much where I'm working in a way where I'm chasing and trying to stop the bleeding of or stop the sinking of the ship, so to speak. We're in growth mode, so I have time to step back and say, how do we grow more? How do we grow faster? I know I can take a step back because we have AI doing a lot of things, and we have a team of people working with AI, so everything's really efficient. So you can take a moment to breathe once you've hit that stride. The tech hesitancy trap, fear, funding, and AI adoption. We have a profound fear of technology in this country. I don't know what it is. I always think to myself, maybe because we have a large group of like first generation immigrants, coming from places that might not be so technologically advanced. Maybe they have a hard time adopting technology, but that's not really it, because I see people who are second, third generation still not adopting technology. And it's just a fear. It's the fear factor. We're so used to buy a home, invest in a home, sell your home, get a bigger home, and that's pretty much your life. In Canada, we haven't really sidestepped that and say, maybe I can start a tech business, or maybe I can do something in tech or use technology to grow. So again, my life, 37 years at the end of this month, have not once felt like we were a technologically savvy environment. And I feel like in the States, even some of the smallest businesses or individuals just starting their professional path, the first thing they go towards is technology, because it's just ingrained in their culture. If you know how to use technology, you're likely going to be productive and make money. In Canada, it's not. You want to pick up bricks, lay them down, paint them. Like this type of mentality, we got to really shift if we want to see any sort of productivity in the next, I would say, a couple of decades. We got so many Canadian professionals hesitate to adopt AI, even when it could free up hours each week, due to a mix of cultural, financial, and procedural barriers. Cultural risk aversion, that's like 100%. We are a highly risk averse country. And I'll say this again and again. If you avoid all risks, that is inherently a risk, especially in today's environment. If you are not a risk taker and take zero risks, that's a risk. You might as well be the number one risk taker by not taking risks. So cultural risk aversion, over 50% of Canadians recognize good business opportunities, but hold back due to fear of failure or wasted investment. Like, you need to put your chips on the table to see what works. You don't put your chips on the table, your chips are going to, your chips or your Canadian fiat currency is going to literally decrease in value over time. So you have to put up the bucks if you want to see any sort of returns. And some things don't work. I've spent tens of thousands of dollars, probably like I would say maybe even six figures on diddling with tech just in my own personal professional journey. That's outside of any sort of costs that are incurred from peak demand. We're well beyond that now. But when I was coming up, I spent a lot of money on technology just to try and figure out how things worked. And I don't regret a single cent of it, because now I have a working business and we make enough money for me to think, you know what, that $100,000, not so big of a deal. It put me in a place where I'm comfortable working with these systems. So I implore you, if you have an opportunity to invest in technology, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, hell, $50,000, pull the trigger, see what happens. Just see what happens. And maybe you don't have the full return on investment your first try, but now you know what to do and you're going to try again. As well, slow decision type cycles. This is the Canadian way. Let's just go as slow as possible and see what happens. What takes about 4 months in the US for a US company often drags out to 12 to 18 months for a Canadian company, delaying productivity gains. So like, as much as you think your plan was good, it's not going to get implemented for 2 years. So might as well not even talk about it till 2027, 2028. And this is not just businesses. We've seen this in municipalities, across the board. They always want to plan for 2, 3 years ahead. And then when it gets to that year, they still want to plan more. We're literally planning ourselves into submission in this country. Underinvestment in innovation. Canadian firms spend just 2.5% on GDP. I think I read that one, 3.7 in US. I mean, they're doing 50% more per capita in terms of investment into tech than us. And that just means we're using fewer resources, fewer AI pilots, fewer tools. It's really, I sometimes believe it's because we didn't really have a strong tech base when I was younger. Like, young people are usually the people that running into tech, building companies, building environments where tech can thrive. And in Canada, like, we have a small tech community, but nothing so pervasive where young kids are growing up and saying, hey, I want to be a tech person. I want to be a tech man or a tech woman and enter tech and help people with their technology. People don't really think that way. We think, oh, I want to get onto the housing ladder. Let me, save together my down payment for my house. That's going to make me liquid for the next 30 years. That's how we think. And then getting the toes in the water experience is what I advise for Canadians. Just try a little bit of AI to start. You don't have to overhaul your whole business. We don't advise that. We advise toes in the water implementation. So things like pick one pain point, a single repetitive task that you have to do over and over. Get a machine to do it. Get a machine to do it and see how many times that machine can do it in a day versus you doing it. And I guarantee you, your first question you're gonna ask yourself after you see that is, what else can these machines do? And that's generally the feeling I'm looking for when we're working with Canadians. It's that wake up call, like, holy shit, this guy's actually telling me the truth, and I'm just putting my head in the sand because I don't want to hear the truth. Lo and behold, I'm going to tell you guys the truth every time. It's going to hurt a lot of the times, but after you take it in and you really reflect on it, you're going to be better. Measure impact quickly, track time saved, error reduction, or lead volume for business development teams 30 days into a build for a clear ROI case. We have to put together clear cost benefit analysis and ROIs for AI implementation for Canadians. They need to see that the numbers make sense because this technology is so new to them. In the States, they see OpenAI, they see Jeff Bezos from Amazon talking about it, Elon Musk, AI this, AI that. They don't even think ROI until they're well into their pilot and already a full adoption. They just know in their heart of hearts this is going to work, and it works, and it is working for them. They have faith. I think we just lack a certain faith in technology that Americans have rooted into their culture, and because of that lack of faith, we're constantly needing proof it works. We're constantly needing this. There's no risk there. If you need ROI and you need proof, you're not taking risks, and inevitably you're not doing anything. So I really do hope even someone who works just as a professional within a business, like you're not the business owner, but pick up ChatGPT, see how much more you can do in your role. You'll get promoted. I promise you, because the rest of your peers are not doing it. By starting small, you turn uncertainty into momentum. You chip away at the busy trap and demonstrate real value, making broader AI adoption a no-brainer. And it does become a no-brainer. You quite literally want to have everything you touch go through AI after you figure out how much more you're doing. Like everything you're seeing on the screen right now is AI generated. We had AI do all of this. So for me, like this is a beautiful picture. You have to back 10 years ago, you'd have to pay a good amount of money for this picture. This picture was built by AI to contextually match this article to a T. That's how efficient this stuff is. Many Canadian professionals waste valuable time on repetitive tasks, and AI-powered workflow overhaul often helps you audit your day, delegate or outsource, automate with AI. A couple real-world examples: after-hours service requests for an HVAC company that doesn't want to hire someone to work past 5. Have a robot do it. It'll answer every single call. It'll answer 10 calls at the same time if you want. Medical clinic, again, like the call answering thing, we love using the phone. We have demographic in this country that really loves using the phone. Put robots in front of them and see how much more work you get done. You're going to be shocked at how much more gets done. And yeah, a few people here and there's like, I don't want to talk to a robot. No problem. Route them to a human and see the vast difference in the quality of the call. You might have a more human experience, but I can tell you right now, these AI agents and robots are outperforming us when it comes to communication and understanding maybe a protocol SOP or human resource document far better than we do. We're an emotional species. We feel things all the time, and it really I wouldn't say it discourages productivity, but it definitely affects our ability to stay on track because we might get distracted by something. We might think about something. AI doesn't get distracted or think unless you train it to. It literally just works towards its intention, has 100% will towards its intention, and doesn't get distracted. If anything, we train our AI agents to recognize when the conversation is straying away from that intention and have the AI agent guide the human back towards or align them with the goal that we want the agent to accomplish, be it a booked appointment, a successful customer service call, or what have you. Like we have to train the agents to guide the humans back on track. That's what we do. Let me see here. There's a whole bunch of things you can, HubSpot CRM. There's some voice tools you can use here, Zapier. They got a whole bunch of chatbots. Like that's one of the another problem that we notice. There's so many tools out there now. It's like, where do you start? Where do you start when it comes to figuring out the use cases, what types of tools to use? Like some of our customers come from ChatGPT, And it's only after a conversation with ChatGPT when they're saying, hey, like, we don't know about tools, we don't know about AI. Is there just a team that can do it for us? And then ChatGPT will recommend Peak Demand. ChatGPT will recommend our team for people who are lost in the sea of AI tools and just want someone to manage their AI operations. And we get those leads. So, how do we get those leads? Again, we do a lot of work on visibility, leveraging AI. And so that's where the content engine comes in, going back to what I said earlier. So from busy to brilliant, cultivating an AI first mindset. This is a requirement if you want to work with the peak demand team. You must have an AI first mindset. Our operation revolves around AI. When ChatGPT 5 came out, I was super excited. I wasn't even the first one on my team to get it. But basically, once you've understood that your operation is better carved around technology than trying to input technology into your operation, your efficiency is going to go through the roof. So here's some, a little bit of tips. Block out some innovation time, schedule a weekly AI lab, run rapid, quick use case experiments to find ROI quickly. Celebrate your wins. People tell me I like to celebrate small wins. Like whenever I have a small victory, I celebrate it because it gives you momentum to go get the next win. And then when you have 100 small wins, that's a winning year. That's a winning quarter. So for me, every little win counts. And when I have a loss, I'm devastated. I want 20 or 30 wins to make up for that loss. And AI really, really helps with that. Foster continuous learning. Again, like this is an unending space, so you really have to continuously pour your mind or open your mind to new things, which for me is no problem. I love learning about new technology. If there's something new and available that can make us operation stronger, we go for it. We share it with our clients. Any new model that comes out, all the agents that we have deployed get a kick up in their operation. So it's like, our clients learn that your product or the service we're providing for you is going to evolve with your business. It's going to evolve with the language models, and it's going to learn more. Like learning is probably number two for her, putting AI on a pedestal. And then integrating AI into decision making, use AI analytics dashboards, weekly reviews, guide strategies, leverage predictive insights. So this basically is taking your data and making more informed decisions using AI. That's just like basic bottom line insight into your business. I would advise it for sales teams, anyone doing accounting, huge. Having AI help you in that decision making really helps. So we're getting close to the end here. This video is a lot longer than I anticipated, but hopefully you guys find value in it. I'm going to chop it up into shorts so we can get as many on YouTube as possible. But by institutionalizing AI exploration, rewarding experimentation, and embedding data-driven insights into your routine, you transform busyness into brilliance using AI to unlock your most valuable asset, which for everyone is time. Time is the only thing we cannot create. We can create money, we can hire more employees, all this stuff, but we can't take time back. So saving time is like making more money because you can do a lot more in a shorter amount of time. You're going to be more productive, more revenue. So time is the limiting reactant for all businesses, so to speak. You've seen how AI can free up hours of busy work. Now let's put it into action with a couple simple steps. Launch quick AI automations, either a voice receptionist trial, see what it looks like. Try. The bottom line is, Canadians, you guys need to just try, because this lack of effort is quite literally hampering the economy. And I feel bad. I really do feel a little bit bad for some of the younger generations coming up, because they're coming into a place where business owners are not innovating. A lot of, we're experiencing a lot of brain drain. So those people who would have been building strong businesses are just straight up leaving. And we get a lot. I speak to a lot of immigrants, young immigrants coming here. They're saying they're looking for jobs on LinkedIn, not knowing that most of the job posting on LinkedIn are not even there to hire you. They're there just to collect your information. And it's like Canadians have adopted this world where we would rather go slow and steady and think safely and inevitably deteriorate over time. I don't know if you guys have heard this analogy, the frog that was boiled, or boiled frogs. but we're literally like a bunch of frogs sitting in a jacuzzi right now, all having a good time, not knowing we're going to be getting served up as frog legs, on the global stage when it comes to our economy. So really do things quickly and just try a little bit. If you could do anything, if you can carve out a few $1,000 just to try, with another team where you want to shell out some money and some time to go through the tools yourself and then come to us afterwards, which is most likely what's going to happen because they are hard to manage. Just try, and I guarantee you, you're going to see the light. You're going to see a path to victory for your team. The other thing is, instead of doing the automation yourself, obviously you can book a call with our agency to build. We will analyze your operation, ideate your use case, design it with tools, implement it, integrate it into your current systems, and you don't have to do a thing. You just have to give us a credit card. That's it. We can get you up and running on this entire program. All you need is a credit card. So if you're Canadian and you're looking at this situation going, hell, I don't have time to look at how I can save time, but I see this guy on YouTube talking a whole bunch about how I'm not doing things properly and all he wants is a credit card. If that's the type of AI adopter you are, no problem. We love you guys the most. You're the best clients because you see results and all you do is pay and you get more money for it. So that's great. You can book a discovery call with our team, and we'll sort this out for you. So the bottom line here is we have to do more in a shorter amount of time. We have to start using technology. And I hope that, it's going to take a few years for this really to ring true and come home to roost. But if you feel like you don't want to wait for that breaking point and you feel like, hey, I want to come ahead, I want to, survive the next little, difficult moment in our economy because of what's going on with real estate or what have you, or just the number of people in the country, population. I think we were growing really quickly and now we have zero immigration. So what's going to happen to those jobs? Like we're going through a tough time. If you feel like you want to sort of sidestep that and get into a place where your operation's flowing efficiently, you can start generating that comfortable amount of revenue where you're able to hire people to do more, no problem. Book a call with our team. We'll put you on a roadmap to success, using tried and true strategies that have worked for our other clients. And so I'll leave it at that. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to our team, book a discovery call. Really looking forward to the next one. Oddly enough, it's these types of conversations, and when I put these sort of videos up on YouTube, we get more views for this type of conversation. We don't get so many views for, here's AI, here's what it does, and it can help your business. And we do a lot of those videos, and we do get people coming in and appreciating them. They don't get many views, but we get business owners coming in and booking an appointment with us. So we know that type of content really converts for those who see it. But it's this type of content, these conversational pieces, that get a lot more airtime on YouTube. So I'm considering just trying to like weave this into more of the more mundane, functional content. This is a more observation and discussion and brainstorming content that I think YouTube likes. So I'll try to do a bit more. But until then, good luck with ChatGPT. You got ChatGPT 5. Challenge yourself. Ask yourself questions. And I always tell our team, dig deeper, ask questions. And then they'll take those questions, put them in the ChatGPT and see what it says. Guarantee it'll change the way you look at the world. And with that being said, I will look forward to the next one. Bye now.